Hello, everybody, and welcome to the She Shed. I am so excited that you have joined me. If you could do me a favor, please share this and invite. We are going to have an amazing conversation on this evening. So please do me a favor right now, share and invite as I bring my guests in. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi.
I'll be introducing you momentarily. Ladies, if you could do me a favor and get on your social media platforms and share and invite for me, I would greatly appreciate that. We are going to have a good time. I am so excited. Let me get on my little thing and share and invite too. Let's see here. And we're going to give everybody just one moment to come on in.
We can just use this same little link.
Wait. No, what link? That's the one I sent you.
Okay. What am I sharing then?
You could share, go on my page and then just hit share. I think that'll work. And share it to your page.
I see you. I got you.
Thank you. Hey ladies, how is everyone doing today? Are y'all doing good?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Look, y'all gave me a reason to put a little makeup on. I ain't get too dressed up, but I got my shirt on.
Yes.
And I'm a little adorned.
Yes. I love it. Please share and invite. We're going to go ahead and get started. And hopefully everybody can tune in tonight. So I want to welcome everybody to the She Shed. This is our first live event. Typically, we're inside of Zoom, and our meetings are typically registration only and private for the things that we share. But tonight, I decided to bring some amazing women on tonight that's a part of the She Shed core group. And really quick, what the She Shed is, the She Shed is similar to a man cave. You know how men have a place where they can go, they can discuss things, they can relax and just fellowship and all that good stuff. So the Lord impressed upon my heart to start what's called the She Shed. And the She Shed is a safe place for women. And what we do in the She Shed is we're shedding those things that are not like God so that we can become everything that He has purposed for us to be. All right. And so that's what the She Shed is all about. So we're shedding unforgiveness. We're shedding bitterness, strife, anything that's kind of hindering us from walking into our purpose. And so that is a journey, and everyone is taking the journey. And so I'm so excited. So it started out as a conference, and then from there it turned into a core group of 10 women, which that has grown to, I believe, about 12. And so we only have a few on here tonight. And so I said, you know what, these amazing discussions that we have inside of the She Shed, I think that we should open it up and we should have this conversation with other women that may not have a space to be able to have these conversations that we have. So I'm so excited tonight to open up the doors of not the church, but the She Shed. On tonight, we're going to have impactful conversation. If you are watching, please do me a favor and share and invite so that we can get some more women on here and we can begin to have a good time. Let's see here. What else? Yes. We're on StreamYard, and so this is my first time utilizing it. So bear with me. If you have any comments or anything like that, please feel free to comment, but get your girlfriends in here and let's have the conversation. So tonight, I'm going to go ahead and introduce these amazing women. that's on this panel on tonight. And so first to my right, I have Jayana Johnson. Then I have Ricky Smalls, but she put Ricky Danielle Smalls. Let me add that middle name in there, right? I have Deborah Shedrick, and I have Lakira McClinton. Okay, we're missing one that was on the flyer of Felicia Yearby. She is on the West Coast, and so she may be still having some things going on. So hopefully she can join us tonight. But if not, we totally understand. So, ladies, are you ready to get the conversation going?
Ready?
All right. Perfect. So today the conversation, and I hate that I missed it. I had a chance to read some of the thread there because our group is in GroupMe. And so we are together in GroupMe 7 days a week. All right. And so we just check in on each other. We love on each other, and we have the most needed conversations in the GroupMe. So today I'm going to start our conversation off with the first topic. And again, welcome to the She Shed. If you are just now tuning in, if you could do me a favor and please share this live. This is the She Shed Live. We are opening the doors to the She Shed and letting you all into our space. All right. So the first question that was brought up today in the She Shed is, how do you feel about sharing good news in general? So we're going to start at good news, and then the part B to the question is, how do you feel about sharing good news to people around you that may not be in the same space as you are? All right. So who wants to kick that off? Don't all go at one time. Kira, are you frozen?
She looks frozen.
She has to be frozen because I know she ain't playing like that. I know she ain't playing. Okay. Deborah, why don't you kick us off?
Okay. What was it? How do I feel about sharing good news?
Yes. How do you feel about sharing good news to your family?
I'm hearing like every other word, and I don't know why.
Oh, okay. You may need to go out, Kira, and come back in. Go out and come back in. How do you feel about sharing good news with your family and friends? And do you share that?
Is it there?
No, ma'am. Go back out and come back in. Okay. How do you feel about, Deborah, how do you feel about sharing that good news with your family and friends? And do you share it with your friends that may not be going through such a good time?
Honestly, what I feel like may be good news, I don't always share because I don't want it to seem like I'm throwing it up in people's face who are going through a hard time. So sometimes I won't, because you may not get the reaction that you're looking for, and then it kind of dims your light. You be happy about something, and then they just like, oh, okay. So then I'm just like, well, I thought that was good. I mean, okay, well, but with close friends and family, I don't really have an issue with that. It's just sometimes I have news that I feel like I'm maybe a little indifferent about myself. That's where the question kind of stemmed from. I may have some indifference about the news myself, but when I tell others, they be like, oh, that's good. I'm just like, oh, okay, well, all right then. But I don't really feel bad about sharing it, but when others are having a hard time, I do hesitate to share, but eventually I still do, because I just want it to be like, okay, well, it may look bleak now, but I mean, here's some good news, you know, things will get better. So it ain't always seem like this, but I don't have a problem sharing the good news. It's just sometimes I am a little hesitant, depending on who it is in the situation. So,
Kira, are you sharing the good news? Or are you kind of holding it to yourself?
no, she froze again.
She frozen again.
Girl, let it go. You frozen.
Am I froze again?
Okay, you back now. You're good. All
Thawed
right.
out now. You thawed out.
Right, you throwing out.
I like that. You thawed out.
Froze again.
Okay.
Maybe try turning your camera off.
Oh, really?
It might be too much. I don't know. But I want to hear from you.
Okay, Kira, we'll come back, honey, because you ain't thawed out. Yeah, you ain't thawed out.
Look, you're going to have to type your stuff.
Look, you're going to have to go to the car.
Right, go outside. Get some of that signal.
Okay. Ricky,
It's
you back? Okay, Ricky, what do you have for me? Uh-oh, we can't hear you.
You.
Can't hear you. Mm-mm. You may have to go out and come back in. All right, Jayana, what do you have? Are you sharing the news?
I am sometimes.
Okay.
I enjoy sharing good news because I feel that it's encouraging to other people. However, on the flip side, I am sometimes sensitive as to what I'm sharing and when, because I want to be careful if someone is going through something and I have good news that's the opposite of what they're going through. Let's just say someone just lost their job and then I just got a new job or got promoted on my job. I'm not going to say, hey, I know you just lost your job, but let me tell you that I just got a new job. I try to be a little sensitive in that sense, or if I know the person is open to accepting the good news, then I'll share with them. But it just depends on the season that that person is in at that time.
Gotcha. Technical. Kira, are you back or are you still frozen?
Looks like she's in and out.
Oh, I gotta bring her
It's
in.
going in and out.
All right, Kira, go out and come back in. Ricky, I think I heard you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well now. Go ahead. Are you sharing your good news?
Listen, I'm sharing, okay. I'm sharing regardless. Sometimes I'm not always thinking about, oh, I might not want to share this because the person I'm speaking to is, not a good place in their life. Because in my opinion, I've surrounded myself currently, I'm talking currently, with people who definitely want to hear, what's going on in my life. Like the people in my life now would be offended if I didn't say, share the good news of what God is doing. So I'm sharing, but I definitely get the aspect of, feeling some kind of way because in the past or in your present, when you share your good news, people are not happy for you. I get that, but that's just not going to stop me.
Okay, so here's the thing for me. I'm sharing it regardless, and that doesn't mean that I'm being callous or I'm being inconsiderate, but I believe that it's a sign. Okay, because see, let's say that I may be the one that's down in this season, right? And then Raki or Jayana or Deborah, you all are doing well, right? That's a test for me. I should be able to rejoice with you regardless of what I'm going through, right? Because if I practice rejoicing with you when my turn comes, then, you know, I'm able to have someone else to rejoice with me. But if I can't rejoice with you, regardless of what you have going on, then I think that that's a problem. I think that's a red flag. And I think that it may even potentially have to be addressed. Now, have you all had an instant to where that has happened, where you've shared some news and people tend to, you know, have given you funny business? And I'm not going to include family because sometimes it's just like that.
Right.
But let's talk about friends. You've shared some amazing news with some friends. Have you all experienced that? Raki?
I've experienced it. I'm sorry, go ahead, Raki.
No, go ahead, girl.
Jayana, you said
No, I've experienced it. Yeah. I'm not cutting in and out.
I hope not.
Okay.
Go ahead, keep talking.
Okay. No, I have experienced it in the past, years ago. Excuse me. And I think me being me, I'm very sensitive, first of all. So if I share something and I don't get the reaction that I was hoping for, or if I feel that someone is looking at me a certain way, for example, if I share something and I feel like someone is judging me, like, oh, well, she's always bragging, or she thinks she's all of that, or something like that, then I probably won't. I'll be hesitant to share with that person, or I'll water it down. I'll share a little bit of it, but not the whole thing, or make it not seem as grand as it may be. So that's been my experience.
Wow, so you had to, okay, so you had to water down your experiences. I don't quite get it.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Hey, not currently. Like when I say I don't play by my tribe, I don't play by my tribe. I'm not letting, you know, I have all these messages coming in talking about they can't find us. I'm sorry. But
excuse me 1 second. So I've made it public. I made this live public. So now it's shareable. So if you could please share and invite. I apologize. This is my first live using StreamYard. So it should work now.
Yeah, when I share, I've been public. Let me see.
Lord have mercy, but it's gonna be all right. So yes, if you could please share and invite.
So if you could.
I'm still frozen.
Who's frozen? Kira, you still frozen? Bless your heart, as they say in the country. Bless your heart. Y'all, we getting it together. We live, honey. We live at 5. Well, 5 Pacific time.
I have so many messages coming in. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. So Nicole says, good evening. Good evening, Nicole.
Okay.
Tayana says, hey, okay, here we go. I think we in business. As long as we can get Kira to not be frozen. I think if we can just thaw Kira out. Thaw out, girl.
For Wi-Fi. There goes Sierra.
Maybe her Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if she's in the perfect room.
Stephanie says, hey, okay, we cooking with grease. We
Hey.
cooking with what they say, hot grease.
Hot grease.
All right, so now I'm getting okay.
Oh.
Look, Nicole told Kira to go to the car. Nicole said, go to the car, sis. Go to the car. Okay. So that's probably what she's gonna do. So okay, we're back. Please share and invite. Please share and invite. Okay. who we were speaking with, Ricky, you were saying that you've had an instance to where you shared the news. Was that you, Ricky?
Yeah,
And you were saying that you had to water it down?
definitely. You know, Jayana was talking about that. I can relate. I was saying that is not something I could relate to right now, you know, but in the past, in my 20s, you know, high school, definitely. I think it takes maturity to be happy for somebody, unfortunately. You know, some people, I'm not going to say that jealousy, because I doubt it's always that. But, you know, some people just, it may be jealousy. They may not have anything going for themselves. But that's all, you know, immaturity. Now, I will question if somebody's going through that right now and they're, you know, I'll be 40 in a couple months, and I refuse, you know, to have anybody around me that, you know, would feel that kind of way. I would never feel that kind of way.
Right. So present day. So let's bring it present day, because you know, anybody experience this present day, and we're not calling anybody out. We're just having the conversation.
I'll say,
go ahead. Go. Who was just about to say something?
I say not that I know of, you know, present day.
Okay.
But
anybody else present day?
I definitely, they would not be in my circle.
Boom. Okay. Let's talk about that, because that's what I was getting to. If you can't rejoice, and see, that for me is a litmus test.
Yeah.
If I'm sharing with you some good news and I can't get a go sis go, or yeah, that's great, I'm going to have to reconsider some things. I'm going to really have to rethink where you are at this moment in my life.
Right.
Does that make sense? So no one has it makes sense if you've experienced it. Hey y'all, my link didn't work. Lord, Felicia. That's okay, Felicia. Oh, okay. Sierra said red flag, let them go. Okay. So that's the next question.
Yeah.
If you have experienced that as an adult, present day, would you let them go, or would you have a conversation? Because now that's a hard conversation to have. Would you have the conversation, Jayana?
I would have the conversation, and I have had the conversation to some family. It's not an easy conversation, but it's something, if it's important to you to be able to share your good news with that person, I think a conversation needs to be had, definitely.
Yeah.
So how would that conversation go? Like, hey, you know, I shared something with you the other day. You were acting kind of funny. Like, how would that conversation go? Because I could imagine that conversation being challenging. Hello.
She said she's going in and out.
Who's going in and out?
Jayana.
Oh, Jayana, you're okay.
Oh, there she go.
Jayana, say something. Let's make sure you are right.
What's that, fellas? Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Am I back?
You're good.
You're back. We were talking. Were you talking? Did we miss it?
Am I back now?
Yeah. I don't think she was talking.
Okay. Charity said,
I don't know. Y'all were cutting in and out. I heard myself cutting in and out.
Y'all, we're going to work through the technical difficulties. No, pity them and move on. Okay. Let's see. Steph said, if you know that person can't handle that type of convo, then I would just distance myself.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
I let that friend. All right. Let's see. Let that friend go. I never had the conversation, just ended the friendship. And you know what? I couldn't see myself having the conversation. I think I agree with Annette a little bit. Would you ghost that person? Would you let them go?
I'll fall back a little bit.
I ain't gonna ghost you,
I ain't gonna ghost
but you gonna find out my good news through Facebook like everybody else.
Okay.
you. Now that
Okay, Deborah.
And then you're gonna be texting me, hey, this happened? Yeah. Oh, when? Why you ain't tell me?
girl,
Okay, so what you gonna say when it's the
We'll
why
figure
you
it out.
didn't tell me?
right?
No reason. I ain't gonna go into it because obviously they ain't realized from the last time, so ain't no point in trying to explain it.
Kira,
Deborah not- Kira is back. All right, Kira. What say you?
I am in the car. Okay, so
But we got you.
Yeah.
I've never had a problem sharing my good news. Like I didn't even know that was like a thing until you guys even put it in the group, because as soon as I have good news, the first thing that I'm doing is calling somebody to tell somebody. Like I can't hold that in. Like I want somebody to celebrate with me, not just hold it all to myself, especially if God has blessed me. Like I want to tell people about it. It's not something that, you know, how somebody else receives it, that's not my fault. That's on them.
Exactly. I was feeling the exact same way. Stephanie says some aren't honest with themselves to say that they have an issue in their heart. That's good, Stephanie. Do you all find I can't think of anybody that will be like, hey sis, I'm so happy for you, but your girl going through it right now. I cannot rejoice with you. Have you all experienced that?
but I don't know about that. See, love is actually you start funny. I doubt you are saying it. You know what I mean? But you start acting funny. You put two and two together, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. I probably would not have a conversation. I probably just wind up who just left out? I probably would just wind up distancing just to kind of figure out what happened. Like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. Okay. Did you all have anything else to say about that? I just think she said that's exactly what happened when I told them. Victoria Russell said, I would have a talk with them and let them go if they're not on the same page. Let's see here. Charity said, once your emotional intelligence reaches, I don't have my glasses on, Saints, a certain level, you learn to just place people in their respective places. Yes, sometimes conversations are not needed because those with personal challenges with you can't even tell you why.
Wow.
That's it right there.
That was good, Charity. that was good. Let's see. Yes, people's reaction speaks louder than their words. Absolutely. So, ladies, me personally, I said have a conversation. Depending on where you are in my life, I may have a conversation and I may not. I may just push back, and I'm going to use the terminology ghost because that's what I would be. I would be Casper the Ghost. And like Deborah said, you would not find out any of my information unless I decide to announce it on Facebook. Let's talk about that really quick. We have some married people on here and a few of us that are not married. And this is a segue into another question that no, we did not discuss. Praise God. But would you post your good news on social media? Would you post your good news on social media? Kira?
Not everything. I don't. I've been actually pulling away from social media, but not because I think thinking about how people are going to receive it, but just because it's just not that interesting to me anymore to be on it like that.
Okay, Deborah, what about you? Are you sharing your information on social media?
I used to. I think the last thing I shared, really big thing, was when we bought our house. But since then, I just like, not everything is for Facebook and social media. And then it, no,
No, she's just like,
I've pulled back.
no.
I've pulled back too. I'm trying to really get off. Like, I started to deactivate, and then I forgot we had this coming up, so I was like, "Oh,
Oh
let me
my
get back
God.
on," because I was just like, it takes so much time. You can be sitting there just scrolling through, and next thing you know, that's hours that you done spent just on social media. And I'm trying to get away from that. So I'm trying to tell the people that's close to me stuff without social media knowing, and whoever find out, find out. But not everything is for social media. No, I'm not telling anymore.
Charity said something good. She said, and her handle is Mitch Love
Oh,
Star. Her name is Charity. She
Yeah.
said, for
I know
me,
that's right.
Charity.
social
I'm sorry.
media isn't a space for testimony service. Wow.
I disagree.
Who disagree? Who said that?
I
Raki?
totally agree.
Kira? Which one of y'all said that?
That was me. But Kira said something else.
Explain. You disagree?
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh,
Oh, you agree?
wait. Who disagree?
Ricky disagree.
Oh, yeah, I disagree.
I
Kira
I
agrees.
I disagree. Now, I believe that social media, you don't put everything on there. But this is what we got right now. Social media is
True.
what we have. And you do make that choice whether you be on or not. But if you're making the choice to be on, I just feel like we need to hear what God is doing. Because whether you believe in him or not, if somebody says they got a new house, God did that thing. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. Whether they give him the credit or not. But now I understand that, people, there's some people out there sharing every single detail of their life. And I'm not really referring to that, but being, selective. I like to see when someone gets a new house, a new car, not to mention someone who's been delivered from smoking for 20 years or, alcoholism, whatever it may be. To me, I love it. Like, I want to hear what God's doing in people's lives. And then even as far as my social media friends, I can't say Instagram, but Facebook, I'm definitely connected to people that I know. So if I know you, if I went to school with you all the way back to elementary school, I want to see what's going on in your life. Like, I think it's amazing to be able to hear, what God is doing in everybody's life. I do.
Kira, chime in. What were you saying?
People,
I'm gonna say I am like, I'll say halfway, because I don't think we need to know your whole life story and every single situation that goes on every single week with you on social media.
Yeah.
But what about the good news? Like, I just bought a house. I just got a car. What about that?
But yeah, the good news, yes. But I don't want to. Sometimes you can know too much about somebody.
Jayana, what say ye?
I agree. I love seeing posts about people who just bought a house or whatever it is, got a new job, started a business, just got married, whatever it is, especially people that maybe I went to high school with, or people that I haven't seen in a long time, cousins or whatever. I love it. Yeah.
So, okay, so here's my thing about that. Felicia said, "Good news, yes. Mess, no." I know that's right. I don't want to see no mess. Now, let me talk to the single ladies for like 5 seconds, because on this here good news feed on Facebook and on Instagram now, I know I'm not the only one that see the wedding announcements, the proposals,
Yeah.
baby news. Now, I want people to share, because when it happened for me, I'm sharing it. Do you hear me? But and look, and I'm rejoicing with everybody, even people that I don't know. I'm rejoicing with them. I'm making sure my heart is right? But every now and again, I get tired of seeing it now. Every now and again, I gotta be like,
Wait.
Lord. And it seems like it's more now since the pandemic than ever before. And so I'm like, all right, Lord, yay.
That's because we all more in tune with our social media. Before, we had to leave and go to work and go to jobs and stuff. Everybody at home, we ain't doing nothing but okay, hey, well, all right. All right. Okay, whatever. Yeah, that's all we're doing now. Like, that's what takes up the time.
Do you all, because Charity said, I think it becomes more of a problem when there is a dependency on posting everything about your life. Now, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have been certain places, I've done certain things, and I found myself in certain instances, because of what I'm trying to build, I have found myself having to post if I'm somewhere. Yeah. When I really don't want to be honest with you. Yes, I've said it live. But when you're building a brand, or when you're building something, like sometimes you have to share so that people can connect with you.
Yeah.
I know, Ricky, you're building a brand. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like you have to share all the time to get people to connect with you?
Let me say this. Yes, I do, but I don't say that as an obligation. I say that as I knew what I had to do before, I even put the brand out there, especially delivered from people. I mean, that I have to share, and I want to share, and that's the whole purpose. Does social media get sickening? It absolutely does. I wish there were other ways, that I can connect. But for right now, especially during the pandemic, it is what it is. But I don't say that as an obligation. I'm sharing to set someone free because I've been set free.
Oh, that's good. I felt something right there. You share to set some people free. And you know what? Look, Allison says, seeing the engagements and love gives me hope. You know what, Allison? It gives me hope too now. However, comma.
Feel like you got to step away sometimes, right?
Sometimes I got to step away. So I guess I'm on the receiving end. Like sometimes, like I'm rejoicing, I'm celebrating, I'm glad for everybody, but sometimes it's a little too much. I gotta step back every now and again. But okay,
I fully agree, Courtney. I mean, sometimes you just gotta put your phone down, delete the app, do something to take your mind off of that. Because the thing is, a lot of people will only post what they want you to see anyway. Sometimes it's not all what they're saying it is on social media. So I also try to keep that in mind, because I'm like you too. I mean, I'm single, and sometimes I see things and I'm like, okay, another year has passed by. When is it going to be my time to post? You know, but but that's their time. So I tried to be happy for them, and I am happy for them. But just keeping in the back of my mind that my time is coming. And on the flip side, everything that we see is not really what it is. So that's one thing that helped me.
That's a good one. What we see is not always really what it is. Charity said, I agree. People post what they want you to see. And you know what I started to post the other day? I started to post, why is it that people do not post their failures? Why do we not post our failures so that when we do post the really good news, people can really see where God has brought us from.
Right.
They can really legitimately rejoice with us.
Right.
And it's not just the whole, let me show you because I'm here now.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Yeah.
It's, why do we not do it? Now, I tell you straight up, and I started to, but I don't feel the most comfortable posting my failures. But I guess since I'm bringing it up, I guess I probably need to. I don't know. Why is it that, and anybody can chime in, why do we not post our failures? Why do we not post our failed relationships? Why do we not post our failed business ventures? Why do we not post our failings? Why do we only post success?
Social media is a fantasy world. That's why.
Definitely.
So Shelly says social media is a tool that can be used for good and bad. You have to be mature enough to understand what it really is and not get caught up in it.
Nobody wants to hear about my failures.
Shelly says it's snapshots of people's lives, but you have no idea the price they paid to have what they have.
True story.
That part.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a snapshot. Let's see.
It is.
Because we want to be seen in a good light. That is very true.
Very true.
Seriously, that's it. Maybe people judging or caring what people. Okay, Allison, let's talk about that. Do we care? And this is another question that we discussed in the She Shed. Do we care about what others think about us?
I'm gonna sit back on this one.
Say again, Ricky.
I'm gonna sit back on this. Y'all already know.
She's like, read the shirt.
Right.
It took me a lifetime to get here. You know, I really can sit here and say I don't, coming out of a place where I only cared about what people thought about me. Like only, like I will be 40 in a couple months, and mid-30s, I started not to care because it's too much and it's too overwhelming. And obviously, I truly didn't know who I was in Christ. You know, and I'm talking about good and bad though, right? Like not just judging in a bad way, but people who are telling you, you know, you're going to do this and you know God told you you're not going to do that. Like people will tell you so much stuff. They will tell you the horrible things and they will also try to tell you, you know, somebody told me something one time that I was going to write this book about such and such. I was like, no. And God, that's a long time true, but people just have a lot to say and I just have to say I'm over it. I'm over it. Next.
What say you, Deborah?
Do I care about people? Other people? Not really. It's more so the ones closest to me. Honestly, I got too much going on in my own head to be worried about what anybody else got to say or think. If you're not trying to help me, it doesn't matter. If you're not trying to help, it don't matter what you got to say. Cause no, I always used to be the person, and that I think I started caring more about what people thought as I got older, because back in the day, I'm like, so you mean so? You sensitive. I don't care. I mean, but I guess I kind of had to break it down and realize like maybe stop being so mean. Like not necessarily mean, but so blunt about stuff and actually care about other people's feelings. So I guess that kind of opened the door to kind of caring. But for the most part, I don't care what people think about me. I like I said, I have too much going on to be worried about if you like me or not. Honestly, I don't care.
You said I don't care. Shelly said it has to do with your view of yourself. Insecure people can't post failures. Insecure people only want to be viewed a certain way. Insecure people can't be happy for other people. It's all about your view of yourself and truly knowing who you are. Well, preach, Shelly. Well,
Right.
all right.
Send her the link to join.
Listen, when you know who you are, you don't care what other people think.
Okay, this is what I'm saying, right? I feel that way, but a lot of people, I feel like, don't believe me. Don't believe not just me that people cannot care about what other people think. Like it's impossible.
Let me be honest right up and through here. Because I'm building something here.
Yeah.
I do care about what people think.
That's understandable.
That's very understandable.
There's
I
like
mean,
maybe 3 people that
maybe
I
three.
care. Like maybe.
Here's the thing. If I'm selling something, right?
Yeah.
If I'm selling an image, if I'm selling an idea, if I'm selling a product, if I'm selling something, I have to care about what you think.
Yeah.
Because if I don't care,
The consumer, you want to care about your consumer, right?
I want to.
Do they matter?
Does the consumer matter?
I think it's important to care about your consumer, the person who's actually buying your product, but not necessarily the naysayers.
Okay, that's a good one. When people give you a certain perception of what they see what they see of you or what they perceive of you,
Mm-hmm.
Are they really a naysayer? Are they really a hater? Or
no, you're right. Not all the time. Not all the time.
Should we care? So now the question is, should we care of what others think? Or does it depend on who it is?
For me, it depends on who it is.
Yeah.
I think it depends on who and what.
Lisa says, I think it depends on where the person is. People may not want to share because they may not be prepared to deal with the failure as well as other responses to their failure. Caring too much about what others have to say, in the end, people will have something to say about your successes and your failures. I agree. But in this social media game, I have learned that I have to care about what others think. Let me share this. Ooh, let me think. I'm going to share it. This the she shed, Lord. Okay.
Ed.
I am a part of a particular industry. I'm not going to say what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And someone said to me one time, I was doing an event for the She Shed, and they weren't quite, people are not quite sure what the She Shed is. They're trying to map it out. This is when I first started. And someone said to me, "Oh, that's what you're doing. I thought that you were doing the thing that's connected to me. I thought you were selling such and thus, and that's what you were doing. So I wasn't interested."
Okay.
What that person said immediately caused me to revamp some things around me so that everyone can have a clear understanding of what Courtney is doing right now. And I currently wrestle with that because I'm still a part of said business. But I don't know how to marry the two because some people immediately turn off when it pertains to that business. That was me caring about what someone had to say.
Why though? Why do you care?
Because that was a valid somebody's microphone
That's
is Jayana. Okay. I care because if that one person thought it, and because of how they knew me, they were able to say it, I believe that means 3 other people felt the same way. So how many people was dodging what I actually had to offer because they thought that it was something that it wasn't? Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that.
And it wound up being true. And it wound up being true. That because I am connected to this other industry, some people didn't want to attend events because they thought it was going to be just about that industry. So I care to a certain extent what people think.
Yeah. That's a loaded situation. I've heard, several times that you should care, but it just all depends. It's such a loaded question. It just definitely all depends.
I think we all care to a certain extent, or with certain people. Like even small, like close relationship and marriages, we care what our husbands think, and we care what our kids think about us, but we don't really take that into account when we ask that question. We always out thinking about everybody else, so it's easy to say, "Oh, I don't care." But like I said, there's like 3 people that I care what they feel about me, what they think about me. But I'm not going to worry about what the world thinks about me, what everybody else, people I don't even know. I don't care because, like I said, I have enough going on in my own mind to change, to worry about somebody I don't even know or a hater or whatever, to be worried about what they got to say. So I think there's a little bit of us that cares what certain people or few people think about, but for the majority, I feel like if we worry about what other people think, we won't be who we are. We'll always be trying to please whoever we're around. So,
yeah.
Like she said, that's a loaded question. Yeah.
It is. Because, okay, Felicia said people need to learn how to ask questions and stop assuming, though. That is very true.
Yeah.
Shelly said trying to present the best product to consumers and business is different. You should definitely care, but what people think about you as a person is another thing. Now, okay, so to that end, let me say this. If someone calls me, let me not use that. I was about to say, if someone calls me mean or rude, I was gonna say, yeah, I wouldn't care. But you know what? Sometimes though, see, I feel it yet and again. If someone points out something about you that you may necessarily not think it's true. What if it is true? What if you are really mean and rude for real?
Let me chime in on that one.
That's a whole
'Cause
nother
I
story.
got that. I got that growing up. I was always the mean one. I was always da 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 da. I was always the mean one or the B. I'm just like, I mean, I didn't care because I'm like, it's funny because the people that said that about me didn't know me or didn't get to know me. I have a friend that I'm friends with now. When we met at our job, and she came for an interview, and she was like, "Oh, she a B," and now we close friends. It's like
Hey.
from me just grabbing your application and saying, "Okay, we'll give you a call." I mean, I guess I didn't smile or anything, but you got that from that, and I was just like, how you get that from that? Like, I was a little put off by that time. Was like, but I've always got I'm mean or whatever. Just like, it's because I'm not a very friendly person. I'm not the one to come up and talk to you and hey and do all that and stuff. And I have the resting bee face or whatever. Just like I don't. But when I smile, people be like, "Oh, you have such a beautiful smile." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." But I mean, if you calling me mean now, if you calling me mean, it's just because you don't know me. You don't know me. Yes, I'm blunt. I can be blunt. Like my daddy always turn it around. She not mean. She just blunt. She direct. I'm like, thank you, daddy. Cause y'all just sensitive sometimes. But I always got that. And I can see how it was perceived as being mean after I had my daughter. I definitely softened up a bit. I had a manager tell me that, and I was like, okay, I can see that. But at the same time, if you was just calling me mean and you don't even know me, you just saying stuff. Like I got that growing up my whole life, and as I got older, I embraced it because I'm like, okay, I don't care, whatever. But
But
you don't even know me to.
if you have a resting B face, don't you think it's hard for people to come into you to get to know
I mean, kind of, but at the same time, it's like that's just my face. I don't. I'm not at work just always. Sometimes I be focused, and I'm just like, even now, I keep having to look at myself and straighten my wrinkles and stuff because I will get focused and get in, then I'll be looking all mean. I'm just like, I can't help that. But I mean, some people are put off by that, like, and it's the stigma that I hate towards darker skinned women. They get that a lot, but I'm just like, when we smile, you see a totally different person, but you're put off because I look like this. I'm like, and there'd be nothing wrong with me. I could be having a great day, but I look mean.
you? You just touched on something, sis. You said darker skinned women tend to get that.
We do. And I have to check myself on it sometimes too. When I'm out in public, I may see a darker skinned woman, my complexion, whatever, and she look mean. And I'm like, but then she may be walking by or she sees something or she answers her phone. I see her smile and just like it just melts. It's just like it's a bad stigma that I hate that I even have to get over myself about myself and about other women because that's what we are labeled. The dark skinned women are mean. I'm just like, but you don't even know us.
I never heard that one. I'll be honest.
I haven't either. That's new
I've learned that
information.
I've been,
I haven't
I have that face. I always get the smile since I was little. Smile. I'm like, for what? I mean, I'm just walking from the car into the store. I didn't know I was supposed to be like, hey, I'm going to Publix.
Right.
You
I
know?
mean,
But I've never heard the dark skinned girls are mean. I've never heard that. I need somebody to chime in. Has anybody
I
else
grew
heard that
up
in the comments?
with that, so
She ain't paying attention.
Has
because
anyone? I never heard that either.
I've never heard that, Dad.
Wow.
I've never heard
That's
that.
deep. Darker skinned women, you said, are looked at as having the resting bee face.
or not so much that, but we have an attitude.
No,
We have
You
an
don't
attitude.
think?
I've never. Now I've heard
You don't
black
think this-
women got an attitude.
I was just
I've
about to
heard that
say that.
about Black women in general, but I've never heard that about darker skinned women.
Yeah, I
That
haven't.
is wow. That is very
My
interesting.
husband chiming in, talking.
I was like, who? I hear a dude. Who is that?
Oh, your husband in
Oh.
the background.
What?
Yes.
See,
Stephanie said that she's never heard. She haven't heard that either. Wow, that is interesting.
That isn't.
That's another topic for another day, though, because I would like to get into that. She said Alicia said that my best friend is darker skinned. She said she's never heard it. That is interesting. But I have heard, most Black women have that. So when I was working in an office building in corporate America, I used to purpose in my heart to smile. I was very intentional about walking in and how are you? You know why? Because every time I interviewed to be promoted, that's one of the things that they look at. But they don't tell you that, though. They say, you know what? I like you. It's not even always about your experience. It's not always about how well you do the job. That's part of it. But I've heard in corporate America, the biggest part is about how you get along with others.
Yep.
And if I walked around with the resting bee face, they consider you as hard to work with and they steer clear of you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jayana, is that true? You work in corporate America. Talk about it.
And I work in human resource as well. And I can say that is very, 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 very true. Working in HR, and if anybody else that's tuning in is in HR, you can probably attest to what I'm saying. You see and hear a lot of things behind the scenes. You can have two candidates who have equal experience, equal level job skills, and they are going to most likely pick the person with the better attitude or with the perceived better attitude every single time. So definitely in corporate America, how you're perceived or what others think of you absolutely matters, especially when it comes down to getting the promotion or getting the job. Or if I've seen people make a decision as to who they want as their administrative assistant based on whether they say good morning.
Yep.
Or whether they smile enough, or if their tone of voice comes across as an attitude, or whatever that situation is, a tone of voice, or where you're from, or if you're up north, things like that. Your accent may have a part to play in it, but absolutely.
Jayana, I've even heard that appearance matters. Especially if you're like a receptionist, if you're working at the front desk or anything like that. I heard they even look at your appearance.
They do. That can happen. I'm not saying every job. It is also depending on the person that's making the decision about that job, But yeah, absolutely.
So we can't walk around with the resting bee face. We got to be intentional about. I'm very. Felicia said yes for sure. I'm very intentional about smiling. Now, I will say this though. When I'm out in public, and like the lights, if you will, are off. I have my baseball cap on and my dress down clothes, and I'm just in and out of stores. I can't guarantee I'm smiling. It's not guaranteed. But if I'm at church, if I'm at a restaurant, even if I'm just dining at a restaurant, I am very adamant about smiling and about being very pleasant. Even if I'm out somewhere getting my car parked, I'm very intentional about smiling and about being pleasant.
Why?
Because it matters for two reasons. Number one, if I'm who I say I am, you know what I'm saying? If I'm a child of God or whatever the case may be, I feel like that smile may be, I don't want to say the only hope, but that may give somebody hope, or that may make someone's day a little bit better. They could have been having a rough day. They could have been getting cussed out, every customer, and then you come through and you're being pleasant and you're smiling, and that may brighten someone's day.
Yeah.
That may give them hope. You saying please and thank you and being kind. Now let me double back so that the saints will understand that your girl is not perfect. I have not always been kind to people and in public, but I do try to make every effort to do so for that cause. And also, you don't know who know what. This world is small. And if let's say you're trying to network or whatever the case may be, people watch what you do on social media. People that don't know you, they watching you. Out here in the world, people that don't know you, they're watching you. They watch how you respond or react to a server. Yeah. They watch how you respond and react to if you're out of town or whatever, you catching an Uber or Lyft. Yeah. People that you do not know are watching you. People at your job, they're watching you. The person off in the cut in the corner that you don't talk to every day, they're watching you. They're watching you. And when you least expect it, that person that you don't know, they may DM you, or they may come up to you and they may say, I saw what you did in that situation, and the situation may not have been a pleasant one. I saw what you did, and I respect you for that. I appreciate you for doing that. You just don't know who is watching you. So sometimes you have to be intentional about what you do. Y'all go ahead.
I agree. My first jobs in high school was customer service. I mean, I learned the hard way. I was that person who used to just always look mean, but I wasn't. I just don't walk around smiling. But at the same time, I'm the person you want in your line as a cashier. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so nice to cashiers. I'm just like, how's your day going? What time do you get off? It's just me. But I think it came from my first two jobs being customer service. My first job was being a photo lab technician at Eckerd, and then we had regular realtors coming in for their pictures to be developed. And you got to have this relationship with them. They will be so quick to take their stuff down to the other Eckerd or CVS or wherever, And then I personally just want good customer service. I keep complaining about this one hostess at the Cheesecake Factory that they will not let go. She's so rude. And guess what? I don't go there no more. My favorite restaurant. I don't go because 5 times is too many times for you to have bad attitude. That's not just a bad day. That's just a bad life. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm just saying.
Deborah said you don't know her like that.
I'm saying I that is my spot. In 5 times,
No, I
you
have
got
great
an
customer
attitude?
service.
5
No,
times you got a bad attitude. No, I think
attitude bad as in like her facial expressions or how
no.
she.
I don't care about your facial expression because once you open your mouth, it should be like, "How can I help you? How many?" She got a bad attitude, and then I've heard from
Right.
other people that it's the same girl. I was like, "Same girl," and I'm like, "Why are you a hostess?"
You know why?
Right. If you don't like your job, find another one.
Why
Obviously.
she still got her job? Because and it's always people like this. She probably show up to work early. She probably,
Oh,
she
but
probably
one
do
of the
everything they
managers,
tell her
come
to
to find out.
do.
She one of the managers. Yeah,
Wow.
but
I can't speak to that. Let's move. Let's move on. Another question, and our time is nearing its end. I have had a good time with you all, and I'm so excited. It's still not too late for you all to share and invite so we can welcome some more women into the She Shed. So another question that we had, let's see here. Which is hard to say? I love you, I'm sorry, or I need help.
I need help. For me.
Same. I need help.
same. It's hard to say I need help.
I would say between I need help and I'm sorry, just because I didn't used to feel like I did anything wrong. So I wasn't sorry.
Deborah, you
Um,
act like you didn't say sorry.
I would say I need help now because I feel like stuff would get done faster if I just did it myself. And when I ask for help, I don't get it when I need it or how I want it. So it's not necessarily harder to say. It's just I would rather not.
You would
Just
rather not. Why?
because it's just easier for me to do it myself. I don't when I'm at if I'm asking for help, it's because I want it right then. And then there's a certain way that I need the help. And if I don't get it, then I'd rather not ask.
So are you asking people who are not equipped to help you?
No. If I know you can't do something, I ain't gonna ask you to help me. I don't. I don't. I've always done stuff myself. I've tried not to rely on other people, anyways. So if I'm asking for help, it's because it's like last resort. I kind of need it. But if you disappoint me or let me down and you don't do what you say you're gonna do, then I would just rather not, and I'll figure out some other kind of way. So
You said you can't ask for help. That's a hard one.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me. Just in all honesty, I think I deal with a level of pride when it comes to asking for help, only because I've been disappointed by people, who I've asked for help. And then, if you disappoint me multiple times, I'm pretty much never going to ask you again, which, it puts me in a crazy position because then that person, when something comes up, why don't you call me or why don't you ask me? Do you really want to have that conversation? Because am I going to be able to tell you because you always let me down and then we walk away and we're okay? You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I'll ask, but you disappoint me, and not to say that everybody's always available to help, and I'm not saying that, but if I really, really, because that's the thing, I'm only going to ask if I really, really, really need you. And if I'm opening up to you and telling you I need you, and then not only, are you disappointing me, but then I can't count on you. That's a whole nother situation. People who you cannot count on, who always got, oh, I got this going on, or I got this. But literally every other time when I'm not asking you for help, you ain't doing nothing.
Zayana?
It's hard for me to ask for help because I don't like feeling like people are not reliable or like someone has let me down. I don't like that feeling. I don't like the feeling of rejection, all of that. So if I ask for help, whether it be emotional support or if I need somebody to come fix something or whatever it is, if I can do it myself or if I can handle it myself or if I don't have to share what I'm going through emotionally, then that's what I normally choose, even though that may not be the best option, just so that I can avoid having to not feel let down.
Okay. So I think the consensus when we discussed this in our private room, the consensus was everyone had a hard time asking for help. And I think the majority of us said we had a hard time asking for help because we didn't want to be judged, some of us, depending on who we asked. Right?
Yeah, I can't remember who said that.
That was Kira. I wonder if she's still on the live. Kira, if you can chime in or come back in or comment, or anyone that's still watching us, thank you to the 7 people that are still live. We'll build on this as time progresses, right? But I know for me, I have a hard time asking for help in some instances because if I ask you for help, I don't need you to throw it back up in my face.
Yes,
so I think the judgment piece is there. If I really, really need your help, that's the only way I'm asking, is if I really, really need it.
Right.
And so if I come to you and I say, Ricky, listen, sis, I really need some help. You like, okay, no problem. You help me. And then time progressed. Because remember that time I had helped you with such and such?
Yeah.
That
even the guilty piece of it, when they try to make you feel guilty that they helped you, like, for example, like, I don't know, they may need help with something and you just can't do it. You can't do it. It's not possible. But then they throw it back up in your face and try to make you feel guilty about it. And just like, that's not the same thing. I literally cannot do it. If I could, I would, but I can't. I'm sorry. But just because I helped you doesn't mean that every time that you need help, I'm obligated to help you. I mean, just because you help me doesn't mean that I'm obligated to help you every single time. So it's just like you throwing it back in your face and trying to make you feel guilty about stuff. I don't want to deal with that or having to depend on other people. I would just rather not.
Kira said, I forgot help was available. I would tell someone what I went through and they'll be like, why didn't you call me? When I didn't know that you were an option. And I don't want to bother people with my issues. And we're bringing it to a close on that because that's another thing. Everybody has something going on, especially now, that we're in the pandemic. I don't think anyone is exempt, and I could be wrong, but I don't think anyone is exempt from going through some level or something, or having something going on in their life where, you know, their attention is on their situation or their circumstance, regardless of who you are. I think there's always something going on right now. So yeah, you don't want to bother another person, or you feel like you're being a burden. And a lot of times people will say, you're not a burden, just tell me.
Right.
Just communicate with me what's going on. Have you been on the other end where a lot of people ask you, and we got only a few minutes left, where people, family members, whoever it may be, may lean more on you for the help? And there have been times where you may have to say no. Talk about it. We only got a few minutes. Have you been on the receiving end of somebody asking you for help a little too much? When is it enough? Go ahead.
When I get irritated, is enough.
Deb.
Deb is I will
crazy.
let some things slide. I will help here and there. Like I said, I think I said this in the chat. Like, there was things that I used to do. I was single, I was young, I had money. I would help siblings, people, but once I had my own, I ain't got $20 here. I ain't got $10 here. No.
Sasha, that's my sister. Sasha said that's why you set boundaries early.
Yeah.
So how do you set the boundaries?
We talked about this too. I don't have a problem saying no.
Yeah.
Look, Deborah, we know you ain't got no problem saying
no.
How do you set the boundaries, Jayana? How do you set the boundaries?
Oh man, that's kind of tricky. There are certain boundaries I set just within myself. I mean, tell someone but my boundaries. But there are certain boundaries I set within myself. And I say, okay, when the situation gets like this, I'm distancing myself. That may be my boundary. Or I may have to hang up the phone, and not continue the conversation. And then there are other boundaries where I can let someone know, like, okay, I'll help you to this extent, but after that, I'm not going to be able to do anymore. So it just depends on the situation.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of an example. I think, like, when I was in my 20s, right? I was a single mom, early 20s, single mom. And I had two older sisters. They had got married before me. They had their kids. And, I told them then, they probably don't remember this, but I say it often. I'd be like, do y'all remember? I told y'all, I am available to you right now. But when I get married and start to have more kids, that's it. I was the one to call, can you babysit? Can you babysit? I sure can. But let's just remember that, once I get married and have more kids, and I just feel like that's a way of setting boundaries. You know what I mean? Because,
go ahead.
Once I got, married and had more kids, I wasn't hitting up nobody. I was taking care of my babies. And then, when grandma wants some, and that's cool. Yeah. But, grandparents got this kind of love for their children, and thank God that my kids' grandparents set boundaries too. They have no problem telling me no. It's not often, but they have no problem telling me no, and I love that about them. But that's the way I set boundaries, and it's just, you got to do that.
We only have a couple of minutes. I wanted to go to what Sierra said. Hey, Sierra girl. She said it's hard to set boundaries, especially when the relationship started with none.
Oh, yeah.
And then Sasha said that's why you start with them. That's why you start with them. The older we get, we know what we allow and what we won't allow. let's go back to some serious that we only have a couple of minutes left. It's hard to set boundaries, especially when the relationship started with none.
Yeah, that's tough.
So how do you set the boundaries once you've always been the yes girl?
Man, I just learned the definition of boundaries in my late 30s. I was like, well, who does that?
Right.
But once I caught, a hold of it and understood, I have no problem. None. And I have no problem with other people's boundaries.
It took me a minute to, okay, another transparent moment. I haven't necessarily always been the one that people ask for help. Look, Kira says, sorry, I can't help you, sis. Right. So that's the boundary. So I used to, this is past tense, I used to have a hard time with people telling me no. So I used to have a hard time with boundaries.
Wow.
But now, fast forward, now when someone tells me no, or when someone sets that boundary, I say, you know what? I respect that. Or I say, okay, thank you. I appreciate your consideration.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps ease the pain of the no. I don't experience that too much anymore because I have learned, but maybe I missed something along the way when I was younger as far as the no piece.
Right.
But now I get it, and now I respect people's boundaries. Allison said, I feel that when it starts to disturb your peace and it doesn't sit well with you, then it's time to say no. And that could be where your boundary can start. That's good.
Yeah.
Speak sis, I respect it. Thank you, Nicole. That's my other sis. But yeah, I haven't always, sometimes I've been the one that is hard to accept the no, but now I'm learning to respect that. Yeah. And just Kira says sometimes the no isn't I don't want to help you, but it's I can't help you.
Right.
It's I can't do it.
Right.
Now I've in some instances, I have a hard time sometimes saying that I can't or no. Now, let me preface this. I don't have a hard time saying no to some. Okay, watch your words, Courtney. I don't have a hard time saying no to some people that are asking me for things. I'm being politically correct this night outside of the boundary that I've set. If all my single ladies hear me, you know what I'm saying. I don't have a problem saying no in that regard. I have in times past, but I don't have a hard time saying no to the gentleman respectfully.
Right.
Right there like that. Y'all understand what I'm saying in the she.
We get it. We get it.
Yep.
However, to my sisters, if any of my sisters, right, Nicole, watch your words. I'm watching them. But to my sisters who may need something, I will have a very challenging time telling any of my friends no. I will have a very challenging time telling any sister that needs help no, unless I absolutely, like if it's money or something like that, and I absolutely do not have it. That's the only way.
Yeah.
I will be like, I don't have it. But other than that, yes, Nicole, I'm keeping it 100 in a cute way. I'm trying to keep it cute. But other than that, there's a challenge sometimes saying no to my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, listen, we have reached our time. I went a little bit over time. I try to go for an hour and 30 minutes because we as women, I understand that, we have, some of us have children, some of us have careers, some of us have spouses and all of the above. And so I'm very respectful of everyone's time. Thank you so much, Nicole. I'm respectful of everyone's time. So I did go over a little bit. Are there any last words? Deborah, do you have any last words for the women that are chiming in on the She Shed?
I love y'all, and I'm not mean.
Oh my God.
Ricky?
I just want to thank you all for chiming in. I know what it's like to flip through social media and see people going live. You're like, But I'm excited about the She Shed and what Courtney started. It has helped all of us who are, already a part of the She Shed, and hopefully we get some more members in. But it's such a healing to hear what each other is going through, or different, just like today. So we disagreed in some things, but we understood each other, and I love that. I love that so much. I love when people have different opinions and it brings light to, the situation at hand. So thank y'all for tuning in.
Diana?
Thank you for doing this. I love the She Shed. This is my thing. I already told y'all in the chat. If y'all could all come over for some coffee and conversation, we could do that. I just love chatting and talking and about different topics. So this was good.
I want to personally thank, let's see what Felicia has to say. It's an amazing group of women. Glad to be a part. Yes. The gift that keeps on. Oh, Nicole, man, I appreciate it. Listen, there would be no She Shed if it wasn't for the ladies on this panel and for the women in the chat. There would be no She Shed. So I'm humbled and I'm so grateful to God that we are taking this journey together. Listen, real quick before you go, Victoria said, thank you, sisters. I want to personally thank Deborah, Ricky, Jayana, Kira, who I'm missing, Felicia, that was supposed to be on the panel. We'll catch you next time, sis. I want to thank you all for coming on this panel. Listen, real quick, ladies in the chat, if you want us to come back and do another She Shed Live, please say yes in the comments. I need to see it. Say yes in the comments. If we need to come back, She Shed Inspired. Come on, if you want us to come back. Felicia said yes. If you want us to come back, I need to know so we can have some more conversation. Listen, I enjoyed tonight. I was nervous, and that says yes. Let's see. Sierra said, woo woo. Yes.
Sierra will be on next time. We missed you, Cece.
Yes.
Steph.
Listen, I enjoyed this. Allison said yes. For everyone who said yes, if you could, the next time, it looks like we need to do this again, ladies. We're going to open the doors back up to the She Shed. And next time, bring your sister girls, bring your friends, bring your enemies. Nicole said yes. Look, I said bring your enemies. I said it. bring
your haters.
Bring your haters. You know what? Because I want to have the conversation as women that we have inside the She Shed. I feel like we need to have it outside of the She Shed. We need to open the doors and let some women come in and let some women chime in on what's going on. Let's talk about real and relevant matters that pertains to women. And that was the vision for the She Shed. And again, we are taking this journey to shed those things that are not like God so that we can become everything that He has purposed in us to be. And that's what the She Shed is all about. We keep it real and we keep it relevant. And so with that being said, Sierra said, yes, it's healing for women. Again, I am deeply humbled. Thank you to everyone who has watched on tonight. And I hope that something was said. I hope that you were inspired. I hope enlightened. I hope you laughed. I hope you had a good time as well. And we're gonna do this again. I'm excited. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna open the doors. Nicole said, "Open those doors." We're gonna open the doors back up to the She Shed, and we're gonna have some even deeper conversation that a lot of women may not have a space to have. And so that's what this is all about. I'm so excited again. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you beyond words. I appreciate everyone that's watching the replay. A special shout out to PhD Studios here in Houston. Thank you so much for opening your doors and your space to me and allowing me to do the She Shed Live. PhD Studios, I'm forever grateful. If anyone is in the Houston area and you need a place to do your live calls or do anything of that nature, even photo shoots, just DM me and I'll provide you with their information and we'll get you set up. Okay. So Victoria said, Queen, thanks for inviting me. Yes. So ladies, thank you again. Let's prepare to do this again. To those who are in the core group, we have the break room. It goes down in the break room. It goes down in the break room. I love the break room. We have the break room tomorrow night for all the ladies who are in the core group. If you're interested in becoming a part of the She Shed and taking this journey with us, we're all on a journey together. Just inbox me and we'll be happy to open those doors to you. So until next time, thank you all so much for coming into the She Shed. Have a good night. Thank you again, ladies.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.